Hey y'all, hey. Let's get right into it. So I wanted to talk about the breathix. What is it called? The breathix. I was gonna say breathix bossy, but that's not it. It's boss breathix or breathix something. But it's the guy who is like in his 30s who has a polygamous relationship with his 30-year-old, 30 something year old girlfriend, 19-year-old some girlfriend who's currently pregnant, and then they bring like another person here and there. So I'm sharing my opinion and giving a reading. Breakfast Boss, I think that's what it's called. Breakfast Boss. If you're on TikTok, I think they're not over TikTok, but I think they're like more known on TikTok. But it's called the Breakfast Boss. And I wanted to share my experience and my opinion. Then I'm gonna go to the reading. So when it comes to my experience, I remember I dated this guy who, and I used to say, why am I dating the same person? But it seemed like just a different body. And that's when I started learning like about energy and things like that. That was like almost 10 years ago. And I dated this guy and he was like so into polygamous. Like it was insane. And it was almost weird, but I'm very open minded. Let me just say, I like to hear people out. I like to hear, your thoughts on something, your opinion on something. Cause who's to say I'm not gonna like something? Just cause it's not normal to society doesn't mean that I'm not into it. So I would, I gave him a chance to open up and tell me, about his things, but I started noticing it was more like a fetish for him than a lifestyle. Like to me, when I think about polygamous, and I've talked to my spouse about this, he's not really into polygamous. Although he's open, he's not like into it. Like it's not like a dying need and desperate and nah. But my thing about polygamous, I feel like if it works if it's not based on intimacy. Like yeah, people are gonna have intimacy, don't get me wrong, but me, I wanted a sister wife. Wait, let me go back to him. And he relates to that boss breakfast bossy guy so much because it's like he gets off on having that younger girl. Like he would, mind you, we was a year apart. I was a year older than him, and he would like always try to like down me for being older, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, younger girls. And I remember when I had found out he cheated on me, because I mean, let's be real, I was already like emotionally out of the connection. I just kind of was waiting for that moment. And when I found out, it was with a younger girl, and I'm like, this dude is so like, to me that's sick. Like I get everybody have their own like type, or they have their own like preference, but when you're doing it based off of a fantasy, it's much different. It's much different. It's really sick and really weird. um but for me, it's like I was willing to try it for having a sister wife, having someone, and I might still, maybe when my kids are grown, because I don't want to bring that type of lifestyle around them. I don't even like people around them like that. Um, but I think for a woman to have a sister wife is, there are benefits and pros and cons, but for me the pros will be just like having someone to help you cook, having someone to help with the laundry, having someone to talk to, that sisterhood connection, having someone to garden with. And these are the things that I felt like I would benefit from. Just having someone to help out with the kids, having someone we can start like maybe just like a spiritual, I mean, I don't push that off on anybody, but I would just hope that if it was someone coming into my union, they would be, on that frequency, just because we're not religious people at all. We both went to church. We both got what we need out of it. So we're on it. I'm spiritual, and I would prefer a woman that is spiritual. If I had went down that path. Let me just say, it's not even something that I think about every day, once a day or nothing. It was just I understand. But just having someone to talk to, having someone to build with, we could, open up a Zumba spot, do cooking classes together, teach other women about, the importance of self-love and, sex magic and things like that. Just like a good friend, without the intimacy. That's what the man is for, right? I honestly believe that's what the man is for. Like, the women shouldn't be doing that if they not attracted to each other. If they're just like sisters, then let it be sisters. But again, everybody is not mature enough, everybody is not comfortable enough, everybody don't agree with that, and I get that. But with this guy that I used to date, back then, it wasn't about that with him. He wanted me to recruit women. Like, he wanted me to recruit women for him, not to benefit me, but for him. And it got really weird, and I took the offer off the table. I'm like, nah, you're not mature enough for me. Like, you want to do that just so you can be able to call your homeboys and say, oh, I got 2 women. Like, we don't even like you, to be honest. We don't even want you, to be honest. You're just here, to be honest, But I feel like there is a benefit, and I also feel like it's a benefit to have 2 husbands. Now, let's not go ahead and let me go ahead and get that out there, because I talked to my spouse about that also. I also feel like there's a benefit. I know it may be hard to have 2 masculine men in the house versus 2 feminine men, but I think it's possible. I think it'll be a good thing for a woman. I'm not gonna go deep into it because I don't want to give nobody no ideas, and now they having conflict. But you research that on your own. But I would love, I'm not even gonna say that, but yeah, it's definitely benefits to the polygamist thinking. That show that was on Netflix, it was so good. I binge watched the whole thing for like 2 days. OMG. I had my spouse was like, I was over here like all that, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you keep doing all this stuff, and I'm not even realizing I'm doing it because I'm just so into the movie. And it was so good, because sometimes it do go like that, you know what I mean? But for me personally, I wouldn't have wanted it that way. Just be honest, you don't never know who is willing to do anything, but do it with great intent. Don't do it because you're trying to get your rocks off, or you're trying to have something to brag about. You know what I mean? Like, because I think women are beautiful. Like, to me, when I see women, I don't have jealousy in my heart. I don't have that, she thinks she, no. I be like, dang, she fine. Like, I tell my spouse, like, ain't she cute? Like, and we got this thing where I ain't even gonna go there, but I say little things. My kids picked up on it, but I'm like, she's really cute. Like, I like that, like that. And I'm glad I can be comfortable with him and myself on that level and not feel insecure, because, I've passed that point in life. I probably was insecure when I was like 17, 18, 19, because I didn't know any better. I wasn't taught, self-love and things like that. So it's like I had to kind of get over that insecure and jealousy stage and things like that to even know, like, hey, I'm the shit in my own, my own way. Every woman is the shit in their own way. Now, you can be a shitty woman, Kayla G, Brene, but most women, I feel, are the shit in their own way. They bring value to not only themselves but the community. But when it comes to the boss breakfast thing, I feel like there's a lot of trauma. I feel that the girl, I think her name is Jelly. I may be mistaken, but it's the light skin, the 19-year-old. He can manipulate her. Like, she didn't want to be at home because, again, she's 19, pregnant. They've been together, a year or two? That means she was maybe underage when they started talking. She wanted to be grown. She wanted to get out. She wanted to find a way out. I know a lot of people can relate. There could be women that want to get out because they just want to be grown. And there could be women that want to get out because of the environment they grew up in. It's like they're trying to find a way out. I don't really know which one for her. However, he provides her with the things that a father should have provided her with. That's why she's so attracted to him. He allows her to, she's a kid still. He's not forcing her to grow up because he gets off on that. Him having a baby with her, what, and I'm not gonna say, women are gods, goddesses, guys are gods. If you don't want to believe it, hey, that's you. Keep it to yourself. That's your belief. But God gave us life, and if I can give life, I'm a goddess as well. That's just what it is, I have the ability to give life. I have the ability to bring a human into this world. God brought us into this world. So I'm a goddess. But for them, I think that having this baby is his way of tying her down. I know he had just had a baby with his girlfriend he had for a while. That's in her 30s. I'm sorry. I had some tea. And I don't know, I shouldn't have drunk it this early, but it has mullein, lavender, mugwort, linden, cornflower, vanilla bean, red raspberry leaf, just different stuff in there. And I'm like really like a little fatigued right now. That's crazy. And I just like woke up like an hour or two ago. That tea works. I ain't gonna lie. And it's another tea that I have that has like all the like natural melatonin. Is that what it's called? Natural melatonin in it. That does not do anything for my kids. I promise you, it keeps them up. It does the complete opposite. So they're never allowed to have that at all. Now I do give them the tea that I drink, and yeah, it does what it needs to do. But yeah, back to the story. For them, I just feel like Spirit, give me some messages for them. I feel like he's with her out of pure manipulation. She makes him feel good about himself. Because come on now, he's not finna get with a grown woman. He's not finna get with a grown woman. There's no way he's finna get with a grown woman. Now, the girl he's with, I know that she like baby talks to him and stuff like that. So that turns him on, and then they have these other girls that kind of go along with it. But to me, again, it's not for the right reasons. It's just because they, he's getting his rocks off and they getting exposure on the internet and they getting taken care of at the bare minimum, and they think that that's what love is, We have end of a cycle, so it could be some type of cycle coming to an end. It could be with the older woman and him, or it could be with the new girl that they got. She kind of probably just there for clout. We have Two of Wands, so with the Two of Wands, it's like some type of power. With the Ten of Wands, somebody burned out. Somebody feel taken for granted. Somebody feel like they was taken for granted. And with the Six of Wands, there's trouble coming. There is some type of exposure, some type of trouble in paradise. At the bottom of the deck, I do have the Page of Swords. So there is some two-face. There's some talk, some gossip that's going on amongst the girls. Maybe somebody's feeling unappreciative. Maybe somebody's feeling like, I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could mute, but my nose. I think it's something in the tea I am kind of allergic to. I just don't know what it is yet. But there is someone. It's like with this Two of Wands, it's like power. Someone feel powerful, and then with the World, with the World card, someone's ready to kind of walk away. Not sure if it's the oldest, like somebody deep down wants to walk away, but they're afraid of being alone. They're afraid of, not getting the publicity that they were getting. But with the Nine of Coins, there is some financial dependency. Someone's dependent on someone. They're afraid to walk away. It's like superficial. They think that this is life. They think that this is what it's supposed to be, but it's not. Someone have convinced someone of, and it's a little girl here, so I'm not sure if Jelly's having a little girl or not, or some type of girl, but it is a mature someone is I'm sorry, with him being a mature, and to me he's not. With him being an older gentleman, he's not even a gentleman. That's what I call my boys. Thank you, gentleman. With him being an older man and seeking this like superficial relationship with these women, it's getting tired, it's getting burnt out. Like, it's getting, with the Two of Wands, it's like I'm getting tired of it. It's not what it is no more. Like, it's not. And like with the Six of Swords upside down, it's like the it's rocky. The relationship is really rocky. Like, what you see on the internet, believe, like and that's what that's what anybody believe, 20% of it, and just keep the other 80% in your head, that it's always something other than that. That's why you end up like that couple the girl who used to do like flips and splits in front of her boyfriend, and then everybody like, I want to be just like them, couples goals, and then found out he was cheating on her and stuff. Yeah, so believe 20% of it, and then don't be surprised when you find out the 80%. Because again, this is a power, what is it? Power, what is it called? Power trip. It's like a power trip relationship. He feels, first of all, he can't even believe it himself he was able to pull this off. But again, these girls, he needs some from them and they need some from him. And it's like, eventually all this is going to phase out. Once that baby gets here and she sees that, it's not what it's cranked up to be, then she'll probably want to, her family will probably convince her to come home, and she probably is going to do that. And then with the Five of Swords, there is defeat. It says notice, Five of Swords is giving a notice of eviction. Not sure if someone got evicted, someone's getting evicted, someone will be getting evicted, but someone feel defeated. It's like they want to surrender. Deep down, someone really don't want to be in that connection. Somebody, and it ain't him. He's getting off on it. He's getting off on the attention he received from it. He's getting off on being able to brag about it, but somebody is not feeling it no more. Somebody is just kind of starting to open their eyes to what's like, I don't think I want this. But they're financially dependent on him. So at this point, they're going to stick it out until they can try to figure out other avenues. And then we have the Knight of Swords, which is manipulation, abusive, and controlling. That was on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, there's a lot of manipulation, a lot of abuse. There could be mental abuse. Could be, we got King of Wands as well. We got someone's being bullied. Someone have a very bad temperature. Someone has a very bad temper. Someone deep down has attitude problems, like has rage, and they mask it with intimacy. They mask it with, acting a fool, and then they go, please the woman at the end. And then the last one we have is bad news and moody, heartbreaker. With the Knight of Cups. So someone, like I said, someone is in that zone where they just don't want to be there no more, but they don't really know how to walk away. But there's some bad news that's about to happen. There is some type of departure that's happening in the near future. Again, there's illusions, there's manipulation. With the Six of Swords, there's trouble coming. There is some type of reality that has set in, that or will set in for these people. And everybody's on social media living it up. What they say, sell your soul to receive the world. To me personally, when you start going to that extent on exposing your life and getting off on trying to, all these people beefing and going back and forth, you're just getting farther and farther away from God, further and further away from your conscience, and further and further away from your journey. When all this stuff is said and done and over with, these people are going to look back and be like, WTF, what did I get myself into? 19 years old, having a baby with a 30-some-year-old man, insane. I know, again, he has that baby with his and then again, it's a fantasy thing for him. You got a dark-skinned woman, you got a light-skinned woman, and a lot of people don't look at it like that, but he is getting off on that. It has nothing to do with building an empire, a legacy, or nothing. It's strictly getting your rocks off, being able to brag, and feeling like, maybe he wasn't really much in high school, maybe he didn't really get a lot of attention, or some type of, maybe he wanted to, be up on his homeboys or it's something like that. But it's like this is benefiting his ego more than it's benefiting these women's lives. And somebody's burnt out and tired with the 10 of Wands, and then the Knight of Wands. There's some bullying going on. There's some anger. There's some outbursts. There's some loudness going on. With the Knight of Cups, there's some bad news coming. It's somebody's gonna be heartbroken though. Somebody's feelings is definitely gonna be hurt. But yeah, good luck to them. Like I said, I have my reasons why, and I would never get with a 19-year-old girl. To me, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. To me, that's still a baby. I'm not even going to lie. Like, looking back on my life, again, if you've, had personal readings for me, then, sometimes I talk about certain things, to relate so that you understand that I'm not just a card reader. I'm a person. I have feelings. I have experience. And, that's a baby, I had my first 2 kids at 20 and 23. I was still a baby. And I definitely, encourage, my daughter is not even old enough to understand. My sons are, having a teenager and a preteen, they understand. And I let them know, don't be that guy. Don't be that unconscious man who around here having kids just because you want to get your rocks off, because that follows you for the rest of your life. Don't be that man. It's okay to, you're gonna be intimate with women. That's a part of life. But you also have to know about protection and precautions. Protect your seeds, protect your semen, protect your mental. You when you're young, it's okay to figure out life. Try to figure it out. Don't be in such a rush. And a lot of people be in a rush too because they want to get, again, out of that environment. They grow up in a very toxic environment. Parents that, or guardians that don't really help mold the child to become anything. It's like, you're here, I'm taking care of you, that's just what it is. But I teach them, don't be them type of men. Be okay with telling a woman, no, I don't want a baby. And don't say I don't want a baby and then still proceed to go in, unprotected, because then that's on you. But for my daughter, I'm going to be here for all my children, as long as I'm here. But for my daughter, I highly, once as she get older, I don't want her to be in her 20s. Now, if she decide that's her life, but I'm going to teach her, because that wasn't taught to me, and I'm going to teach her about the importance of saving yourself. It's okay to wait. It's okay. You don't have to be in such a rush to bring life into this world, because once you do, if you're a good parent, all your time, resources, money, time, attention spent, everything has to go on that child. It is an investment for some. But everything you have goes on that child. And I just don't want my kids to be in their 20s having to settle down with children when there's so much out here in life to experience, And I'm not talking about going to the clubs and all. No, I'm talking about being whole as a person before you even bring life into this world. Because then people got bad tempers and angry because now they done bought kids in this world with people they can't even get along with, So I don't even know why I had said that message, but I hope that it helps or resonates someone. But yeah, as far as the Breakfast Bossy or Boss Breakfast or something like that, I cannot remember his Boss Breakfast Boss, I believe. All this will fizzle and phase out. This is just a season for him. It's just a moment. And once these girls get mature enough in their mind, doesn't matter how old you are, once their mind matured, then they're going to understand that this was a really bad idea because it didn't benefit anybody but the man. But that is all I have. Bye.